What's up, YouTube? Tim from SSG, and I'm here with
Patrick.
What'd you do, Pat?
So today I won the local OTS championship with Unchained Pure.
That's sweet. Let's get into his deck profile.
Okay. So I'm just going to kind of go through this a little quickly. So I'm using 2 Couture Guides. The whole deck's level 3 Fiends, so it's basically tutor any of the Unchains or any of the level 3 Fiends that I tech like 1 or 2 of from the deck. Go into normally a Cherubini, or I sit on any of the Unchains that I summon out and use them with either my back row cards, or if I want to summon Arua from my hands, I can choose those as targets, and then I just go from there and I set up a board for disruption. 3 Unchained Twin Rakia. This is the one that when normal summoned, when on the field, it has the activate ability to destroy a card on the field. Quick effect. This is very useful when interacting with your opponent if they're trying to either target to get rid of your cards, get rid of anything on the field without destruction effect. You can disrupt it by destroying through this effect. It's a very versatile. It makes the deck very versatile when combating different strategies and disrupting plays. It also can float. So all the Unchained monsters that are level 3, when are destroyed in general by card effect or battle, special summon another Unchained monster from the deck. I play 3 Aruha. It's one of the worst ones, but all you do is destroy a card on the field, and you can special summon this card from your hand. It's one of the extenders that they have. It's all right. It also floats just like all the other ones, but normally you use this for either an extension or to set off your traps or spells that have the Unchained Claw to special summon from deck. The MVP of the day is the new Unchained that just literally came out, I think yesterday. I believe Thursday it came out, but Friday for retail. Anyways, so Unchained Twin Sarama, what it does is, on activation, just a normal effect, or activate effect, you can target any Unchained card, including a monster or a trap, special summon it, set it, and then destroy a card on the field. When it's destroyed, it doesn't do anything, it doesn't really have any hindrance, it just does that. And then, of course, it also special summons one from deck from destruction. So basically, this card's a 1-card recursion. It can just generate monsters from the deck just by having a grave. It's not that great going first, but anytime after, usually turn 1 or turn 2, this card's alive. And if anything, you can set up when they destroy your other Unchained cards, and then get it ready for your turn and start destroying your cards to get more plays. It actually helped me OTK today a few times. The last bit of Unchained monsters that I'm playing, you're playing 1 Unchained Soul of Disaster. Activate effect, target any of your opponent's monsters and uses a link material. It must be a dark. It must be used for a dark. This card is actually very, very powerful. I wouldn't play it any more than 1 just because I don't like seeing it in my hand. And unfortunately, the deck can get those awkward bricks. I was playing 2 at one point. I dropped it down to 1 because Sarama now gave us that ability to outgrind and to recur our plays. So 1 seemed to suffice perfectly. And then the other MVP of the day is the Abominable Unchained Soul. This card solves almost any problem that we can think of that's just through disruption. On summon, either through special summon or normal summon, you can discard a card, it doesn't target, and then just destroy a card on the field. Since this card can be only special summoned once, it doesn't usually happen, but when this card does get destroyed, it can special summon itself at the end phase, and then you can choose to activate its effect again or just summon it. When it leaves the field after that, it goes back to the deck, at the bottom of the deck. So it's just one of our many great disruptors that we use as win cons. I'm playing 3 Ash Blossom because I found it just too necessary for a deck that just focuses on setting up just a slow board. I want to say slow because it's disruption, but we don't really combo. That we need to just simplify the game state, and this is just one of the best cards. Same thing. Ghost Ogre, simplify the game state, but I like this because with Abominable Chain on our Link 4, Abomination Unchained, you can actually just trigger his ability if you get this off by destroying one of their cards, and then I really like the combo that it can do with our Link 4. So it's just a very good disruptor for this build. I played one Phantasme because I think it's always going to be good as long as the links are kind of relevant. I did usually summon it as soon as I drew it every single game. I think one was enough. 1 DD Crow. We have too many decks right now that are just so graveyard oriented. It really helped me win against my finals against Striker. Just, you know, get rid of the array. They couldn't capitalize off that. It helped me win. This card is a very good. It's a tech choice. It's a meta call, but you know, it's one of the ones that have been overperforming right now. A very good tech card that if you're playing pure Unchained or just regular Unchained, you should be maining this card. It's a mandatory main, at least one. It is not only that it's searchable by tour guide, but what this card does is, while it's either on the field or in the graveyard, if your opponent declares an attack, any kind of attack, you can either send this from the field to the graveyard or discard the card from your hand during damage calc. Special summon one of your 8s that are going to be in the grave. They're going to be in the grave if it's after turn 1, unless you have a terrible hand. Special summon it, and it forces the attack. They cannot respond if they allow this effect to go off, which either causes them to lose a monster, or they take massive damage, or it just completely disrupts their play. And then if one of your 8s leaves the graveyard, leaves the field in any way, this card, as long as it's in your graveyard, goes to your hand, and then it just cycles. It can absolutely be just like an infinite loop. This card also was one of the primary reasons why I was able to just win games, because nobody saw it coming, and this card has a crazy effect, even how confusing it is. I am playing 3 Extravagance. It didn't really hurt me at all. I didn't actually punt any games because of this. When I go into the extra deck, I just basically play 3 of every Unchained link, and then 2 ofs that I thought were good tech choices for my extra deck. I think it's one of the more powerful draw 2 cards. 3 Abominations, Prisons. All the spells and traps for the Unchained have the ability to, when they're set and destroyed, special summon from deck. This one just allows you to search for an Unchained card and add it to your hand once per turn. My last spell is Wailing of the Unchained. It's not really necessary. I do like it as a one-of because it gets around cards like Mystic Mine, a lot of the floodgates that don't really rely, that shut down your monster effects. So this is one of those outs that can provide you to get around it. I really like it. And of course, when it's set and destroyed, special from deck. I have 3 Infinite Impermanence. 3 Torrential Tribute. This card was actually played out a lot today. A lot of people didn't expect it, and it actually pulled some wins. It helps you just special summon your guys while disrupting their board. I would probably continue to play this card. 3 Escape of the Unchained. When you activate this card, you target an Unchained monster on your side of the field, and then a card on their side of the field. It destroys them. Not only is this a great out to cards, like I said before, on Mystic Mine, but other cards that generally capitalize on negating monster effects or just stopping you from using your monster effects. This is just a searchable destruction card that I feel is absolutely necessary at 3. And then this card is basically a trap form Monster Reborn for this deck. Target an Unchained monster in your graveyard, special summon it, and then destroy it face down, special summon from deck. I play 3. I feel like you need to play 3 of each of the traps just because you really want to see them early game. You want to be able to actually get your combos off if you draw into any of your Unchained twins to get your soul out and at least either get your Link 2 in play turn 1 or at least have it face down so you can get ready to disrupt plays. I would, like I said, I'd play 3 of each. I feel like they're absolutely necessary. And then I played 2 evenly matched because I think we have a really iffy time going second. Even though I do like the deck going second, we still have trouble with trap decks. I still have a terrible time against Altergeist, and unfortunately I know it's not going to completely solve the problem, but it's a great bait in case I do need to try to combo off, and it was used probably the whole day, and I even sided in a third one just because I do find it's a necessary card this format. So I do play 41. That was everything for the main deck. For my extra deck, I play 3 Unchained Soul Rage. Link 2, you do need an Unchained Soul card for all the Unchained Souls links. So for these 6, you basically need an Unchained Soul. You cannot use it with the twins. What this does is, while it's on the field during your opponent's main phase, I can target a special summon monster and use it as a link material to link summon. It's usually effective against all the decks, You know, people can play around it, but it is actually a very good disruptor for turn 1. A lot of people don't know how to necessarily play around it. So usually you do want to set up a board of this turn 1 with maybe like a trap card that can disrupt with their plays too, or just have a hand trap, and you actually have quite a terrifying board. I play 3. Also, when these cards are destroyed, you can add a fiend from your graveyard to your hand, which is very good at utilizing just your resources. So even if they do kill it before they try to overextend, at least you get hand management back. Including you can grab your tour guides. It's always fun. 3 Unchained Soul of Anguish. This is basically the opposite of Rage, where during your turn activate effect, you can just target any monster on the field and use it as a link material. It's a little bit slower, but it's, you know, more powerful, and if you're comboing off or you're able to make it during your turn, you can basically just board wipe or just clear their board and just usually get out your Abomination, which is what I like to normally do. I play 2 Unchained Abominations. This card is Destroy, Destroy, Destroy. If you literally destroy a monster or you destroy anything on the field by battle or card effect, it triggers its effect to destroy another card after that. And then during each end phase, you can destroy a card. This card is actually just so good, especially in this deck, because this deck is, you know, basically destroying nonstop. It's what it does. So I would not play any more than 2 just because it's kind of hard to make, but, you know, it's definitely possible. And when you do make it, usually you end up winning the game. I'm playing 1 Cherubini for tour guide plays. If I want to get my soul of banishment in the grave right away, I usually just go into this to just target itself and send it to the graveyard. Or if I need an Unchained in the graveyard, since they are level 3, for say I draw the Trap Monster Reborn, I have a target to special summon. I don't use it too often, but sometimes it is my turn 1 go-to. B-Cop for a generic 2 that's dark, Fiend. I used it a lot today when I had to mind control, side into mind control, but usually I don't use the effect. I could do Lambda, but right now I'm using this just because its typing it goes with the deck. 1 Topologic Trizbania. These, basically what these cards all do is that they trigger on their pointers. I use all 3 of these because of utilizing the Dark Spirit. The Dark Spirit, the Trap card, and basically since the deck can summon from deck pretty easily and instantaneously, I usually utilize these guys. Either this is more, you know, if you go against Salad, you make this, and what are they going to do? They're going to either stop their turns or they're going to have to destroy this card because they just can't perform any extending plays. Zeroboros, actually, I'll start at the 3. So what Trizbania does, when a monster gets summoned on the pointer, you can banish as many monsters as that are on the field, and then spells and traps, and it deals 500 to your opponent. Bomber Dragon destroys monsters when they get summoned onto the pointers, and this is when something gets summoned with a pointer. So anything with a pointer, banish everything. So the whole purpose of it is summon or summon, and they either try to attack over it, and then you can drop this, special summon any of your level 8s to any of the pointers, disrupt their play, or during their turn, same thing, special summon from grave, disrupt their play, and trigger their effects. And usually it devastates them, or it just wins the game because they lost too much advantage, or they were in battle phase and they have to conclude after that. And then lastly, I'd play 2 Break Swords, because at the end of the day, if you can make this and you have spare resources for your traps to just be blown up, you can 1-for-1 and trigger the special summons. So you can tour guide, go into it, detach, target one of your, you know, Unchained spell and traps, destroy them both, and then you get their trigger. It's just necessary, because sometimes you just need to get rid of problem cards, and it does both. Lastly, I'm just going into extra deck. I'm sorry, side deck. I already went through extra deck. I'm playing 2 Drone Locks. I actually didn't side this at all the whole entire day, even when I went against Salad, because I didn't find it too necessary. I focused more on using Nibiru, but I would normally side these against Salad and probably Spiral, but I didn't actually go against any of it. Nibiru was a pretty good blowout today, though. I would continue to side 2. one DD Crow again. I already main one, so I side another one in case I go against a deck like Striker or anything that's relevant about just special summoning from the grave or utilizing your grave. It's a very flexible card this format. I would continue to side this. I'm doing 3 triple call by the grave. Same thing as DD Crow, except, you know, when I'm going second, they start seeing that I'm special summoning from, you know, the deck. They start to be more, well, they start to worry about this more often, and I start seeing more Ash Blossoms pop up. So I side these in usually if I think that they're more of like a control deck, or if I think like I'm going to be needing to remove their monsters a lot. This is great against Salad, great against Sky Striker, and great against anything that's very hand trap oriented. So I found these really useful today. 2 mind controls for going second, because honestly, if I get a soul and they disrupt my play, or I can't keep another monster, or I can't generate another monster on the board, I just take theirs, I link into my guy, and then I get my souls on the board, and I either create a topologic or I create a soul, and then it's basically a 2-for-1 at that point, because then I just steal their monster during their turn. I use this a lot today against. I played against a lot of Gren Maju today, and actually it came through very clutch when I was either facing an Orochi or a Gren Maju, and I had to stall it out. I'm playing 3 Heavy Storm Dusters because the deck already has bad hand management as it is, so I really don't like Twin Twister, but I really like the 2-for-1 that this offers because my deck is okay going first, so this is fine. This is a fine option for just destruction, and it worked whenever I sided in. Sometimes I just wouldn't see it, so you know, I wish I did. But no, this card's good. I would just keep setting it as well, and I don't care if this over Twin Twister is still fine. I sided one more evenly just in case I'm going second, you know, for the heavy spell and trap or monster board decks. I already main 2. I just sided the 3rd in case I'm forced to go second. And then I did a tech for Full House because I wanted another card that did disruption and spell and trap hate all at the same time. Target 3 set cards and then target 2 face-up cards, and then it destroys all of them. If there's already 2 face-up cards in the field and you activate this card, you could technically target this card itself as one of the face-up targets and then destroy 3. And if you have face-down cards, I could also destroy my own and then trigger the destruction effects of my set cards and then special summon from deck. So it had a lot of synergy with it. I didn't really get to see it, even though I did side it in a lot this tournament. I never really drew it, so I can't tell you if I would continue to side or not. But I did like I said, I like the synergy that it offered, so I wanted to give it a shot. But yeah, that was basically everything. I performed all right during Swiss. Ended up going X2 at the end of 6 rounds, and then I won out on tap 8 for all 3 of the matches.
7 and 2.
Yep.
Any shoutouts you want to give?
I don't know the dude's name, but he gave me the last Sarama I needed to play, and he also played Unchained, but he played Unchained True Draco, and I guess he left early. I told him I would give him a shout-out if I ended up winning, and I actually did. So I'm giving him a shout-out, and I'm thanking all my buddies that brought me here because I didn't think I was going to end up playing, and they brought me, and they gave me this opportunity, and I'm very grateful for it.
Sweet. Congratulations. Thanks for the deck profile. Tim signing up.
Have a good one.